Amelia, quick question for you. Have you ever felt a little bit lost in a store, wanting to ask for help, but the words just wouldn't come out?
Oh, absolutely. I think we've all been there, right? That moment of hesitation, it's like your brain knows what you want, but your mouth forgets how to say it in English.
Exactly. It's a classic experience. Well, everyone, that feeling ends today. Hello and a huge welcome back to Learning English Studio.
Hi, everyone. So wonderful to see you all here. I'm Amelia, and I'm ready to tackle this topic head on.
And I'm James, super excited to be here with you all.
Today, we're diving into something super practical and honestly a lot of fun. We're going to master shopping conversations in English. It's one of those topics that's perfect for beginners because you can use it right away.
Yes, it's so useful. But before we jump into all the fantastic phrases and tips, we have a small favor to ask. If you enjoy what we do, please take a moment to subscribe to Learning English Studio. And sharing this episode with a friend who's also learning English, that would make our day. It really helps us keep creating this content for you.
It really, really does. Okay, James, I feel like our listeners are buzzing with energy. Shall we get started?
Let's do it. I'm ready to shop till we drop. Linguistically speaking, of course.
Of course. So let's set the scene. Imagine you walk into a shop. It could be a clothing store, a bookstore, a souvenir shop, anything. What's the very first thing that usually happens?
Well, usually a shop assistant will come up to you and say something like, "Hello, can I help you?" Or, "Hi, let me know if you need anything." That's the classic opener.
Right. And for a beginner, that can be a bit intimidating. Suddenly, you're put on the spot. So what are some good, simple ways to respond if you're just browsing and don't need help yet?
That's a great question. The easiest and most common response is, "I'm just browsing, thanks." Or, "I'm just looking, thank you." It's polite, it's clear, and it gives you space to look around without any pressure. You could also say, "No thanks, I'm okay for the moment."
I'm just browsing, thanks. I love that. It's such a useful phrase. And the thanks at the end makes it friendly. What if you do need help right away? Maybe you're looking for something specific.
Oh, then it's your time to shine. You could be direct and polite. For example, "Yes, actually, I'm looking for a t-shirt." Or, "Excuse me, could you tell me where the jeans are?" Using "excuse me" is always a polite way to get someone's attention.
That's a really good point. Excuse me is like a magic key for getting help in any situation, not just shopping. So let's say you found something you like. You pick up a shirt. What comes next? You want to know more about it, right?
Definitely. This is where the conversation gets interesting. You might want to know the price, the size, the material, lots of things. So you could ask questions like, "How much is this?" Or, "What sizes do you have in this?" Or, "Is this on sale?"
Is this on sale? Oh, that's a crucial one. Everyone loves a good bargain. What about trying things on? That's a whole other set of phrases, isn't it?
It sure is. In most clothing stores, you'll need to go to a fitting room or a changing room. So you'd ask the assistant, "Excuse me, where are the fitting rooms?" Or, "Could I try this on, please?" They'll usually point you in the right direction or give you a token for a room.
Could I try this on, please? That's so polite and perfect. Let's imagine a little scenario. I'm the customer, you're the shop assistant, okay?
Ooh, I love role-playing. Let's do it. I'm ready.
Okay, so I walk in, you approach me, and go.
Hello there. Can I help you find anything today?
Hi, yes, actually, I'm looking for a warm sweater.
Of course. We have some lovely wool sweaters over here. What color are you thinking of?
Maybe blue or gray. Oh, this one is nice. How much is it?
That one is $50.
Oh, okay. And what material is it?
It's 80% wool and 20% cotton. Very warm.
Great. Could I try it on, please?
Of course. The fitting rooms are just down that hall on your left. Let me know if you need a different size.
Thank you so much.
See, that was a perfectly natural little conversation, and every phrase we used is something a beginner can learn and use.
That was brilliant. It flows so well. And you highlighted something important there at the end. Let me know if you need a different size. That's a very common and helpful thing for shop assistants to say. So what happens when I come out of the fitting room? What if it doesn't fit?
Well, if it doesn't fit, you can be very direct. You could say, this is a bit too small, or this is too tight around the shoulders, or simply, do you have this in a larger size? If it's too big, you'd say, this is a bit too big, or do you have this in a smaller size?
A bit too small or a bit too big. I like using a bit. It sounds softer and more polite than just, this is too small. It's a nice little touch.
Exactly. It's all about being polite and clear. And what if it fits perfectly? You love it. You want to buy it. Then you'd say something like, I'll take it. Or, this is great. I'll buy it. Simple, happy, and to the point.
I'll take it. That's such a satisfying phrase to say, isn't it? Okay, so you've decided to buy it. What happens at the checkout? That's another key part of the shopping experience.
Oh, for sure. The checkout, or the till, as they say in British English, is where the final transaction happens. The cashier will usually say something like, did you find everything okay? And then just, will that be cash or card?
Did you find everything okay? That's another one of those classic, friendly phrases. It's nice because it shows they care about your experience. And the cash or card question is essential. What are some possible answers to that?
Simple ones. You just say, I'll pay by card, or cash, please, or credit card, please. Then they'll tell you the total. That'll be $50, please. And you'd respond, okay, or here you go, as you hand over your money or card.
Here you go. That's such a useful phrase for handing something to someone. You can use it in so many situations, not just shopping. And after you've paid?
After you've paid, they'll give you a receipt and your purchase. They might say, here's your receipt, and thank you for shopping with us. And you, as the customer, can simply reply, thank you, or thanks, have a good day.
Have a good day. A perfect, friendly way to end the conversation. We've covered a whole shopping trip, from walking in to walking out with a bag. That's fantastic.
It really is, and it's amazing how much you can communicate with just a handful of simple key phrases. You don't need to be an expert to have a successful shopping conversation in English.
That's so true. It's all about building confidence with these basic building blocks. Let's move on to another type of shopping, though. What about when you're not buying clothes? What if you're in a market or a grocery store? The language might be a little different, right?
Oh, definitely. In a market, for example, it can be more interactive. You might be asking about fresh produce. You could point to some apples and ask, how much are these? Or, are these ripe? The language is more focused on the quality and the price of the items.
Are these ripe? That's a great one for fruits and vegetables. I can imagine being at a farmer's market and wanting to make sure I'm buying good stuff. What about bargaining? Is that common in English-speaking countries?
That's an interesting cultural point. In places like the UK, Australia, or the US, bargaining is not very common in regular shops. The price is the price. But in markets, especially flea markets or some independent stalls, you might be able to negotiate a little. You could ask politely, would you take $20 for this instead of the marked $25? But you have to do it with a smile and be prepared for them to say no.
That's a really important cultural tip. It's not about haggling aggressively like in some cultures. It's more of a polite, friendly question. Would you take $20? I like that. It's much softer than $20, which could sound a bit demanding.
Exactly. It's all in the tone and the phrasing. Politeness goes a long way. Let's think about another common shopping situation. What about when you're returning an item? That can be a bit nerve-wracking for learners.
Ooh, good one. Yes, returning an item can feel like a difficult conversation. What's the best way to approach that?
The key is to be clear and polite and to know the store's policy. Usually, you'd go to the customer service desk with the item in your receipt. You'd start by saying, hello, I'd like to return this, please. Then they'll probably ask why. A good, simple reason is, it doesn't fit, or I got it as a gift and it's not quite my style. Or, it's a bit too big.
I'd like to return this, please. That's a perfect, direct way to start, and having a simple, honest reason is best. No need for a long, complicated story.
Right, and then they'll process the return. They might ask, would you like to exchange it for something else, or would you prefer a refund? So you need to know those words, exchange and refund. An exchange is getting another item, a refund is getting your money back.
That's a crucial distinction. I'd like to exchange it for a smaller size versus I'd like a refund, please. So if I wanted to exchange the sweater from our earlier roleplay, I could say, excuse me, I'd like to exchange this. It's a bit too small. Do you have it in a medium?
Perfect, you've got it. And if they don't have it, you could then say, oh, okay, in that case, I'd like a refund, please. It shows you're flexible and you understand the process.
This is all so practical. I feel like our listeners could take this podcast episode with them on their phones into a shop and just follow along.
I can just picture someone doing that, hiding behind a rack of clothes, listening to us. Okay, now I say, I'm just browsing, thanks. Wait, that's Amelia's voice.
That would be hilarious. But, it's not a bad idea for practice. Listening to these conversations over and over helps them sink in. Let's talk about some other useful vocabulary, words you might see or hear in a shop.
Oh, there are so many. Let's think about clothes. You have sleeves, the arms of a shirt, collar, the part around the neck, cuffs, the end of the sleeves. You have different materials like cotton, denim, leather, silk. And for styles, you might hear V-neck, crew neck, long-sleeved, short-sleeved.
Wow, that's a great list. And for general shopping, words like discount, special offer, receipt, gift wrap, fitting room, cashier, aisle, like in a supermarket.
Yes, which aisle is the pasta in is a classic supermarket question. And let's not forget sizes. In the US, they use numbers like 2, 4, 6, or letters like S, M, L, XL for small, medium, large, and extra large. In the UK, the sizing for clothes can be different, so that's something to be aware of when you're traveling or shopping online.
That's a very important tip. Sizing is not universal. I've bought things online before that were way too big or too small because I didn't check the size chart for the right country. It's a classic shopping mistake.
Oh, for sure. And it's the same with shoes. UK sizes, US sizes, European sizes, they're all different. So if you're buying shoes, you might need to ask, what size is this in UK or European sizing? It can get complicated, but that's what the shop assistants are there for.
So true. Never be afraid to ask for help. That's what we're really saying, isn't it? Shopping is a great way to practice your English because it's a natural, real-world interaction where asking questions is expected and encouraged.
Absolutely. It's a safe space to practice. You have a clear goal, you want to buy something, and the person you're talking to also has a clear goal. They want to help you buy something. It's a perfect setup for a successful conversation.
I love that perspective, a safe space to practice. That takes the pressure off. Let's think about a situation where a beginner might feel really stuck. Maybe the battery is low on their phone for a translation app, and they need to ask for something very specific. What's a good survival phrase?
A great survival phrase would be, "Excuse me, I'm learning English. Could you speak a little more slowly, please?" Or, "Excuse me, my English is not very good. Could you help me?" People are generally very understanding and patient when they know you're learning. They'll often simplify their language and speak more clearly.
That's such a powerful and honest approach. It shows you're making an effort, and people almost always respond positively to that. It's much better than just nodding and smiling when you don't understand.
Definitely. And another good one is, "Could you write that down for me, please?" If you don't understand a word like a specific color or material, asking them to write it can be a huge help. You can then look it up later.
Could you write that down for me, please? I love that. It's a practical solution and a great learning opportunity. You learn a new word and you get the help you need. It's a win-win.
Exactly. Shopping isn't just about acquiring things. It can be a really rich learning experience. Every interaction is a chance to learn a new word, a new phrase, or a new cultural insight.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It turns a simple chore into an adventure. We've covered so much ground today, from browsing to buying, from trying on to returning. We've talked about clothes, markets, and even survival phrases.
We have, and it all boils down to a few key principles. Be polite with words like please, thank you, and excuse me. Be clear about what you want using simple phrases, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Perfect summary. It really shows that you don't need to be perfect to communicate effectively. A few simple, well-chosen words can go a very long way.
And the more you do it, the easier it gets. The first time might feel a little scary, but the 5th time will be much easier. And by the 20th time, it'll feel like second nature.
That's the truth. Practice builds confidence. And what better way to practice than with something fun like shopping? Okay, I think it's time for us to hear from our amazing listeners now. We want to get you all involved and practicing.
Yes, this is the best part. Let's get interactive.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. We have a little this or that shopping quiz for you all. We want you to tell us your preference and why. It's a great way to practice using your new vocabulary. Are you ready?
I'm ready. This sounds fun.
Great. Question number 1. When you go clothes shopping, do you prefer option A, browsing by yourself and discovering things on your own, or option B, asking a shop assistant for help right away to find exactly what you want? Let us know in the comments which one you are, A or B, and try to explain why in a simple sentence.
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm curious to see what most people prefer. I think I'm a bit of both, depending on my mood. What's the second question, Amelia?
Question number 2 is all about payment. At the checkout, do you prefer option X, paying with a card or your phone for speed and convenience, or option Y, paying with cash because it helps you budget better? Comment below with X or Y and tell us your reason.
These are great. They're so relatable and they get you thinking and writing in English. Remember, everyone, don't worry about making mistakes. Just try your best. It's all about practice.
Exactly. We love reading all your comments and seeing our community engage. Your answers and questions help us make better episodes for you. So don't be shy. Drop your A or B and your X or Y in the comment section below. We can't wait to read them.
And who knows, we might even mention some of the best answers in our next episode. So get creative and have fun with it.
What a fantastic episode this has been. James, thank you so much for breaking down shopping conversations for us. It's been incredibly helpful and, as always, a lot of fun.
It's been my absolute pleasure, Amelia. I had a blast. I hope everyone feels ready to hit the shops and put their new English skills to the test.
I'm sure they do. And a massive thank you to all of you for listening and for being such an important part of Learning English Studio. Remember to subscribe, share, and join in with our little quiz in the comments.
Keep practicing, keep smiling, and enjoy your next shopping adventure in English.
Take care, everyone, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye!
Bye-bye.